Hello, so this video will be all about collecting the endgame resources. Now, the first thing you need to know, where do you have the most amount of medallions and experience in the game? Well, currently it's at B5, where everyone is fighting the Armada. But because of the recent changes, everyone gets a part of the experience and the loot. So as long as you damage something, you'll get something, right? I just arrived over here. Let's destroy that. And they spawn so fast, this is basically everything you need. As you can see, I didn't get any medallions. Because again, it's randomized more or less, even though you don't destroy the enemy. What I like to do is just hit all of the boats. Also, just anchor your ship in a good location and just fire at the enemies. Of course, this is not really fair, but you get the idea. Sometimes you'll steal the kill, sometimes other people get the kill. Okay, like this, and just relax. But I guess this is kind of like the relaxing way to pass the time in the game. Just go at B5 and farm with the other players. As you can see, it will go so fast because so many people are here and most of them will have much better guns. That will destroy the wave, the Armada, in basically seconds, about 10 seconds. And then it will respawn once again. Also try to destroy individual targets. I recommend you go for the anchovy trawlers, of course. So even if you're low level, you can get a lot of experience and goodies from this place now. Let's do this for a couple of more waves so you can see. So 500. People also go in the middle of the spawn area just to collect the loot, because some people just collect the loot and walk away. I mean, it's like at the casinos, you finish playing, you cash in your chips and leave. Oh, this can damage me. But the more people, the safer for everyone it is. I think about 5 people is kind of like the best option. This wave spawned a little further ahead, so you do have to move sometimes. When you move, make sure you're not in the front line, because you'll get shot by everything. Oh, I guess there's someone with a grenade launcher over here. Okay. I think we all got the idea, and as you can see, you get massive amounts of experience, even though it doesn't seem like it, just because you need so much of it in the early level, in the later levels. Okay, let me cash in my chips. You can see the loot. And this is probably the fun way to enjoy the game in more or less a less stressful environment, because you're not getting all of the loot or all of the experience, but at the same time, you are getting enough just to make it worth it. Especially in the early game, but in these later parts of the game it will seem like it's barely enough. You also try and sink the boats. I don't think I look like an enemy boat. But as you can see, my ship has enough stability and size, so it doesn't get capsized if someone shoots at me. Yeah, let's cash in the rest of the chips and let's go to another area where we have a lot of other stuff to do. Now, for the second part of the video, it will be about the gun parts, and to be honest, at this stage of the game, the gun parts are mostly going to be tied to base building and some of the stuff that happens at the base itself. So, let's go back to free wares. So that's medallions, materials, and experience, and all of that other stuff that you need to advance in level and so on. And now probably the gun parts. The gun parts are going to be a major issue for most of the game. And sadly there's no easy answer to this. Oh, yeah. I found a lot more last night and I was too lazy to do the dismantling. Let's speak about the gun parts. Let's see how many I have. 128. The best way to gain gun parts is to first of all not lose gun parts, so go into repair, Go to the auto repair set. Now that leave it at 0 and go up to 25 is more than enough for what you need. And in battle, we'll have to do it the same, and this will also have to be the same. Believe me, I didn't notice that for a very long time, and as you can see, I paid for it a lot. Now, related to the base building aspect and what you need to make the guns, well, basically you need to construct the weapon parts. We have the weapon in workshop, but as you can see, this costs a lot of explosives, and explosives are kind of like an endgame material at this point, so you'll probably have a hard time getting all of them, and you also need a lot of wind turbines for the power, but that's not a problem since you can turn on and off certain buildings. For example, you can just turn it off. So you'll just need 2 weapon workshops, a furnace, and the foundry. What are these for? This will make plates, 50 plates, 50 resources for 1 plate, and that's how you make the plates, and then you just give the order for these things to produce infinite weapon parts. Now there is a big catch to this. I don't recommend you start doing this at a high level. Why is the music so annoying? Because I'm in the base. I don't recommend you do this until or unless you get this thing over here, the production efficiency. From what I understand, this reduces the amount of material needed by 50%, and it also crafts it a lot faster because you're going to spend 5 minutes for a single weapon part. But if you unlock this upgrade, I think it will cost, like I said, half to make the plates. And also it will be probably 30 seconds or something like that. So I recommend you just have enough plates over here to get to the production efficiency. So that means you need to have in your inventory at least 1000 plates at all times. And then just build 3 weapon workshop at least, and 1 of the foundry and 1 of the furnaces, so you can kind of maintain the plate production, and that will be more than enough in the early game to produce what you need for your gun upgrades. And that's a great way to do it. Another very good way to do it is to just, well, this is going to be the boring part of the game. You can assemble the guns themselves from the gun parts and then just disassemble them. Now this will be a very lengthy thing to do because you need a lot of time. So let's assemble not the tier 1 cannons, and I want to assemble tier 2 something else. Oh, I can make tier 3 flak cannons. That's impressive, right? I guess this is one of the aspects of the game that is kind of neglected because you don't think you'll use it again. So let's make the tier 1 cannons. Then you cannot craft more than 1 thing at a time, from what I know. Oh, you can actually, but I guess then you should just craft as much as you can. So probably pick all of the different weapon parts. Why am I doing it like this? Well, because it doesn't really work as you see over here. You would need to scroll up and down, and you can probably make all of the tier 1s and then just disassemble them, but it's going to be a little bit tedious. So you might as well just do it with 1 or 2 parts in the beginning. As you can see, the tier 2 grenade launcher gives 4 weapon parts and the tier 1 cannons give 8. So it's just a lot easier to build and dismantle all of your cannons. And just try, and I don't want to suggest building them at the same time because it's going to get even more tedious like that, because you also have to dismantle them. Try and do it at least for the cannons if you don't do it for the machine guns, for the other stuff. Even the grenade launchers at that tier are not very good. And that's the second way to get the gun parts. Of course, you can just loot the armadas. You can produce them in your base. You can assemble the guns themselves and then just put the stuff in your base back. That's going to give you more than enough gun parts to basically make your entire gun deck be tier 3 at least. Of course, there are some other considerations you have to take, but anyway, more or less that's what you need to do in the beginning of the game. Now let me put all of these things over here because we have some other things to do. Let's go and do some dredging as well, because that's another important part of the game. I just like to put everything in my base and come back to it later and then mass disassemble everything. Because again, you don't have to do all of the boring stuff in the beginning at the same time. As you can see, I have enough to construct another weapon workshop, which depending on when you started the game might be easier, might be harder. And you can also get some nice gun parts from dredging. Also, while we're here, another very good way to get resources, of course, the store. This will be used a lot more as you progress throughout the game, because as you can see, you don't need to farm the scrap and the copper. So scrap iron and scrap copper can just be bought by resources from here, and then you just leave the base to work after you have the production efficiency, which will basically mean you'll be producing a lot of gun parts per hour. Now, again, the details, I'll have another video for base building and you'll see it much better. Always buy the big packs, and also this is how you get the chemical waste, all barrel, mechanism parts and instrument parts. You don't even need that much, but chemical waste, you'll probably buy this pack 3 times or 4 times to upgrade your base to the max, meaning research will be done very, very fast if you do it like that.
Captain, I'd like to share just a reminder.
And also, just a reminder, always have a project going or a quest started. Also, remember, like I said in my other video, remember to take the Captain Supercargo skills, because without it, you'll not be able to farm much. And as a short reminder, this part of the map over here, if you dredge in the north, it will be mostly scrap iron. In this part over here in the southwest, it will be mostly ammunition, which you need to craft explosives. I think it's another part of the game that people tend to forget. Production resources over here. Explosives need ammunition, so everything is needed at one point or another, or in one way or another. So the dredging for the chemical waste will be over here in the southeast. So chemical waste, ammunition, scrap iron. And that's why most of the times you'll see that you have available spots over here at ammunition. And most of the times it will be over here as well. But I guess people are farming everything like crazy these days. And before you go out, just select a few locations. I guess that's going to work. I guess this is the hard part of the game, because these locations are very dangerous to dredge in. I guess that's the only available location for me. Wow. I guess it's up to personal preference. If you're using an anchovy trawler as a main ship, you probably want to use a vigilant that is decked up for speed and has plastic hull. And while you're doing this, check other locations as well. Wow, nothing. This is also a very dangerous area, because these little ships can have super strong weapons like that. Wow, that was annoying. Okay, let's go for another dredge location. So that's only 20. As you can see, those stupid ships will have weapons that attack from above, and that means they'll destroy some of your weapons or some of your other critical stuff. Also, as you can see, I have a very high battery capacity. And they're repairing the cannon, but as you can see, it takes a very long time to repair from 0 to 25, but that's sadly the most efficient way to do it. I bound the anchor to my mouse button, so it's a little harder to get the ones that are on the currents. It's actually very hard. Especially with my ship, because it's so strong that it moves on its own because of the inertia. Okay, see? Anchored. This is how you farm from the currents. The anchor will actually drop on the ship, as you can see on the visual. Yeah, you have to bind the dredge and the anchor to your mouse buttons, otherwise you'll regret it very much. As you can see, you're getting chemical waste and reagents. Reagents are also crafted with chemical waste, so make sure you have a lot of it. So as you can see, I have 2 cannons on my 2. Why is it only 1? I need 2 cannons. So press 0. Well, to be honest, I'm just too lazy to see what cannons are the ones that are the best equipped and with the best crew. So now that you can look at the cannons from the crew perspective and see where they're assigned and their roles and so on, you can probably guess, but it's just too much work for me. I'll just select two random cannons. Probably I should select the top one over here and some other one. This is actually a lot of work because you basically need to disable most of the ships from the Armada and also destroy the Vigilant ship because the Vigilant ships will be very close to you all the time and they'll actually manage to hurt you a lot. See what I mean? You need so much attention and so much, let's say, I don't know, attention to details when you're doing the Armada farm and the boarding alone. And like I said, I'm not using the little exploit that people are using to get more gunners. Okay, can you please repair those guns? I'll probably need them.
Damage has been repaired.
So I like to repair manually some stuff. But so as you can see, it's lagging horribly in this menu. So yeah, you will have to destroy the Vigilante patrol boats. They're not hard to destroy, but they can be annoying because they will zip all around. Okay, that's the first snappy. Man, it's so annoying. The helmsman is over there in the front part of the ship. I recommend you disable the ships by just killing the helmsman first. You can also just aim at their armor section to expose some of them. Yeah, sometimes the huge knockback from the cannons goes against you. I think that one will sink before I get the chance to dig through it. Oh man, that's so annoying. It's actually not helping me at all. And you also have to destroy the anchovy trawlers. Some of them at least. Anyway, it's such a lengthy process, but I just want to go through all of it before we end it, because usually I end up farming all of the snappy boats. But before I do that, like I said, I need to kill the vigilantes and the trawlers and yeah, do a lot of... Oh yeah, there it is. I think I got it. You have to reduce the superstructure health to 0 for most of the things on the boat in order to be able to target the... this is not how I usually will do it, but I'll just do it so we gain some time. Hey, okay, let's just get out of here.
Woo! Critical damage has been repaired, Captain.
But I usually farm the entire Armada wave because I need also the, you know, the loot drops from the other ships.
Critical damage has been repaired.
Wait, what was that? So don't board the other ships, just board the snappy ones, and you might be thinking, why? Why is the loot so important on them? The loot is trash, right? No, it's not trash. Look at this. You can disassemble these things for chemical waste, fiber, and rope. And I think people will enjoy this a lot. So now, good luck disassembling all of them. So how much did I get from one ship? 7, 8, 9, 18. So I got 18 of these things, which let's just say it's 20, let's just say it's 100 chemical waste, let's just say it's 106, no, it's about 320 rope or something like that, and this is actually a good rope. I think we also got some weapon fragments and also some metal trash, and as you can see, this is such a fast way to farm, and the only problem will be the disassembling, but again, it will not be so bad once you get used to it. And like I said, I just do it in bulk, meaning you collect all of the plates from an entire armada, and then I just go back into my base and disassemble everything. I also do it over here, but it's a little more dangerous because you're in the open waters. You know what, I think it's actually pretty easy to get the fiber right now, and I think the developers will nerf this as well. Plus, look at that, the rope and the chemical waste. Very, very good loot. And that's basically how you get the fiber and also some of the chemical waste as well. I think this is the most efficient way I found. Plus, I think there are 3 or 4 snappy patrol bolts, so you probably get... I don't want to exaggerate, but if you do the entire armada, you can get 1000 fiber in probably 10 to 15 minutes. Again, depending on your boat, anyway, depending on some other stuff as well. And now I just want to go to the aircraft carrier and do the board one of the Tier 5 ships, so you can see the rewards from there as well. Now let me see. Sorry about this again. I want to edit a lot of stuff out, but usually I don't have the time. Aircraft carrier. So most of the time the videos will just end up being presented as it is. And over here at the aircraft carrier, well, as you can see, I marked my location. Sit here and look in that direction. Now before you do this, I recommend you look at all of your ship stuff and repair it as much as you can. As you can see, my ship is not particularly well armored, but it has enough to withstand a lot of hits. I'll have to put more armor on my boat. I have to do a lot of other stuff on my boat, but as you can see, I'm just trying to farm right now, and it's such a slow process because I'm trying to get everything at once, and it's not really ideal. I guess I'll just have to farm to level 27, so from now on I think I'll be sticking to B5 for the rest of the week. I can finally get to level 27, get one of these boats, and then I can finally armor it up properly. And also, you know, use the things I told you about the cannons. Yeah, I have to upgrade my cannons to tier 4, but not even tier 3 is satisfying in my opinion, just because of the huge RNG you have. So, as you can see, I have only 3 cannons that are tier 2, but they're not that different in damage, but the repair cost is huge, it's vastly different for the other ones. So stand here, need to look in that direction, and that's the direction of the aircraft carrier that will be more or less safety. Now the problem with doing this is that the tier 5 board dogs are so aggressive and so mean, you'll most likely die a lot of times. Okay, now I need to actually be careful. Unlike the other Armada, this one can destroy me in seconds. They seem to have randomized the spawn a lot more, because usually I would have gotten one spawn at least while I was here. So they can spawn when you sit in that location that I showed you, but other times they just need a lot more convincing. Yep. As soon as you enter this dredge location over here, they spawn in force. That's a trawler, that's a marina. I think I have to destroy the marina sailors anyway. Because they'll get on my nerve a lot of times. Oh, okay. It's the Bordeaux. Luckily their guns are mounted on the foredeck over here, so it's pretty easy to disable all of their guns with a few shots. That one is basically not going to attack me very much. You can also destroy the helmsman very easily. They decided to play ping pong with each other. That's why I said sit there, because most of the ships will kind of default to this location. Not going to fall into the trap I've fallen so many times over here. Okay, I think that one doesn't have a helmsman anymore and it cannot go anywhere. Okay, let's chase away this one. Again, I'm oversimplifying things, but trust me, you need a lot of experience to do all of this, and you need to know all of the little thingies, like where to go, how to do it. Okay, I think that one left already. So now it's time to snipe this one as much as we can, and I'll just be switching to two cannons since it's easier to aim for the two. Because if you hit the boat with more guns, we'll actually push it further away. Never had this immortal shooter beforehand, but it just goes to show that you need a lot of precision to do this properly. Okay. And now as you can see, this one has a much better loot drop. We can get the Sprawler cabin, but I don't think we need it. But you also get the system tanks, which are very useful. But more importantly, you get 33 weapon fragments over here and 51 metal trash. This is kind of like the low loot roll, but you also get, oh, 2 of them. Yeah, you usually get more cabins. Also get the oil cistern body and the tail, and you probably want to use the body. Most people I saw use the body to kind of cover their weapons, but for now let's just see what you get for dismantling them. You don't get a lot of materials from dismantling this, but it's also going to be 16 more fiber, so this is also very good for fiber. The tail doesn't give much, as you can see, but still 100 metal. You have metal. And it's the same as this one, except this one has less cover, so I'm not sure why you would use that on your boat. The system tanks are also very good because they give you 7 fiber. And if you just dismantle everything, also these things are pretty good for metal. And anyway, the idea was that we have to go into all of this recycling. The game is a little buggy today, I don't know why. What's that? Anyway, let's just look a little bit at the resources you'll be getting from the weapon fragments and the metal fragments. So that's metal trash. 1 weapon part from 1 weapon fragment. Usually you can get weapon parts from the metal trash as well. Let's just go for one more cycle. I want to see if I can get 2 weapon parts. Nope, the game says no. But anyway, you get the main idea. So these are the main looting location and the main boarding location. As you can see, that will basically solve all of your problems with farming, no matter what you're doing or how you're playing the game. Anyway, that's it. See you next time. Bye bye.